we got a call for a razor out at Sand Hollow. It's on the West Rim Trail. And yes, I am in the driver's seat of the MORR. We got Trevor with the weather.
So, we got a call for a razor out at Sand Hollow. It's on the West Rim Trail. And yes, I am in the driver's seat of the MORR. We got Trevor with the weather. You won't believe the heartbreaking story of Lizzy from Matt's off-road recovery. When tragedy took her father, a new family stepped in. But here's the crazy part. That was only the beginning of her incredible journey. Let's expose the truth nobody expected, revealing why she had to walk away from it all. The girl in the garage. Liz's story begins in a small town in the beautiful state of Utah, where she was born into a family that had adventure running through their veins. Her whole life was set against the stunning backdrop of red rocks and wide open spaces. A perfect playground for anyone with a love for the outdoors. So, what we want to do is we want to start working on this heavy record today, but we're not going to be able to do it because we have a big job tomorrow. It's going to require the off-road trailer. The off-road trailer needs maintenance. We ordered the parts to fix that off-road trailer. Half of them came in. So, we're going to halfway fix the off-road trailer for the job tomorrow. Her father, a man named Stuart, was a huge off-road enthusiast. He loved nothing more than taking his truck out on the toughest trails, pushing the limits of his machine and his skills. And it turns out there's more to the story because Stuart was also very close friends with another local off-road legend, Matt Wetzel, the man who would later create Matt's off-road recovery. You see, this close friendship between her dad and Matt set the stage for Liz's entire life. From the time she was a little girl, she was surrounded by the roar of engines and the smell of grease and dirt. What nobody talks about enough is how these early years shape a person. While other kids were playing with dolls, Lizzy was in the garage. Stuart would often take her along on his adventures, teaching her the basics of how to drive in rough country and how to fix a vehicle when something went wrong. She wasn't just watching, she was learning. Alright, so quick recap. We picked him up at the water tanks. Then he showed us out on the West Rim Trail where it was. We picked it up. We loaded it up on the trailer, drove back. These early experiences lit a fire in Lizzy. She didn't just like off-roading. She developed a real passion for it. And this is where it gets wild. As she grew older, her interest in mechanics became a full-blown obsession. She spent countless hours in her father's garage learning everything she could about engines, transmissions, and suspension. She even became a talented welder, a skill that requires incredible precision and a steady hand. By the time she was a teenager, Lizzy wasn't just a girl who liked trucks. She was a competent mechanic capable of tackling complex repairs all on her own. But let's not forget her passion wasn't just about fixing things. She loved the thrill of driving off-road, of conquering a difficult obstacle, and she understood a key part of the off-roading world. People get stuck. It's part of the fun. And when they get stuck, they need someone to help them out. Lizzy became determined to learn everything about the tedious, difficult, and often dangerous task of vehicle recovery. And you won't believe it, but she quickly became amazing at it. Her skills didn't go unnoticed in her small town. Alright. Well, we finally found them and hooked up to them, pulled them out, and that was nice and easy. Way to go. Was nice and easy. She started helping out at a local garage where she quickly earned a reputation for being a dedicated expert who knew her stuff. She had a bright future ahead of her, a path paved with the things she loved most. Right when Lizzy was hitting her stride as a young mechanic, and her future seemed so clear and exciting, her entire world came to a halt. And then out of nowhere, the unthinkable happened. That road that we came in on is right up there. It's just right there. Yeah. So we probably just go out right there. Yeah, that's what it is. Let's just go out that way. It's going to be easy. It was a devastating turn of events that would change her life forever. When she was just 14 years old, her father Stuart, her hero, her teacher, and her mentor was tragically killed in a car accident. That's when it hit them. For Lizzy and her family, the loss was a heavy, crushing blow that is impossible to describe. It wasn't just that she had lost her dad. She had lost the person who had inspired her passion, the one who had guided her and taught her everything she knew about the world of off-roading. For a moment, it seemed like everything had stopped. The roar of the engines went silent, and the future that had once been so bright was now dark and uncertain. Well, that was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Now, I actually might make it back in time for church, but we'll see. What's really going on behind the scenes in a moment of such tragedy is a test of the community around you. And this is where the deep friendship between her father and Matt Wetzel became the most important thing in the world. Matt wasn't just a casual friend of the family. He was one of Stuart's closest confidants. They had shared countless adventures and had a bond built on a shared love for the off-road world. Matt had seen Lizzy grow up. He had watched her learn in the garage. He knew about her passion. And he wasn't about to let their dream die with her father. And if that wasn't enough, it gets even deeper. In the wake of this horrible tragedy, Matt Wetzel stepped in. He didn't just offer his condolences. He offered his support, his guidance, and a place for Lizzy to belong. Recognizing the unbreakable bond he shared with his lost friend, Matt decided to stand by Lizzy and her family, taking her under his wing. Some might say he essentially adopted her, becoming the father figure she so desperately needed. This was the beginning of an amazing partnership and a mentorship that would shape Liz's future in ways either of them could have ever imagined. The truth nobody expected is that out of this heartbreaking loss, a new kind of family was about to be formed. A new kind of family. The thing is, when Matt Wetzel took Lizzy in, he was already a well-known and respected figure in the off-roading community. He had just started his YouTube channel, Matt's Off-Road Recovery, and it was quickly gaining popularity. The channel was a thrilling look into the world of off-road emergencies, showing off the incredible skills and technical knowledge needed to rescue vehicles from some of the most dangerous places you can imagine. What nobody talks about enough is the setting for these adventures. The show takes place amidst the breathtaking landscapes of southern Utah, especially near the world-famous Zion National Park. It's a land of steep red cliffs, deep sand dunes, and treacherous rocky trails. It's beautiful, but it's also a place where it's very easy for even experienced drivers to get into serious trouble. And that's where Matt comes in. He's the star of the show, a calm and level-headed expert who seems to have a solution for every problem. His quick thinking and genuine passion for helping people made him a beacon of hope for stranded drivers. Now, this is where Liz's story and Matt's story come together. With Matt as her new mentor, Lizzy had a place to pour all the skills her father had taught her. She wasn't just the grieving daughter of his friend anymore. She became a key part of his recovery team. And just when you thought it couldn't get weirder, this young woman, still just a teenager dealing with an incredible loss, started to shine. She jumped right into the action. Her years spent in the garage meant she knew her way around any vehicle. And her natural talent for recovery was obvious from the start. For the first maybe couple times I've ever welded, he was like right there showing me exactly what to do. And I guess it paid off. But I haven't welded in probably like 3 years. This new blended family was built on a shared passion. It was clear that the bond between Matt and Lizzy was special. She looked up to him and he was incredibly proud of her. This is where it gets weird for some viewers who didn't know the backstory. Because they were so close and worked so well together, rumors started to fly. Some people thought they might be an aromantic relationship. Others even thought that Matt must be Liz's real father. But these were just guesses from people who didn't know the heartbreaking truth. The reality was that their bond was forged in tragedy and built on Matt's promise to his fallen friend to look after his daughter. Lizzy herself has said that it was safe to say that Matt had taught her everything she knew in her adult life, cementing his role as her mentor and guide. In the year 2020, Lizzy officially started appearing on the Matt's Off-Road Recovery channel, and she was an instant hit. The truth nobody expected is that she wouldn't just be a background character, she would become a star in her own right. Over the next few years, she appeared in more than 200 videos, which means she was a constant and vital part of almost every single recovery mission. Fans absolutely fell in love with her. It's really strange, but a young woman in female-dominated world of heavy-duty mechanics and vehicle recovery immediately stood out. But it wasn't just that. It was her personality. She had an infectious enthusiasm and a charming, down-to-earth presence that lit up the screen. And let's not forget, she was incredibly skilled. She wasn't afraid to get covered in mud, drive the massive recovery vehicles, or tackle the most challenging problems. Whether it was navigating a treacherous muddy trail, pulling a truck out of deep sand, or helping with a complicated engine repair on the spot, Lizzy proved time and again that she was an invaluable member of the team. So, we've got a problem here. Where the customer lives is in a place called Sun River. I don't know what the development is, but I don't know if there's a way to get from here to there legally. So, we're going to go figure it out. Her popularity soared. She became a role model for many young women, showing them that you could be tough, smart, and successful in any field you chose. The channel itself grew into a massive success, and there's no doubt that Liz's presence was a huge reason why. The team had a magical chemistry, and the bond between Matt and Lizzy was at the heart of it all. They were practically inseparable on their recovery adventures. But then, here's the crazy part. Right when she was at peak of her popularity in July of 2023, she announced she was leaving the show. You won't believe the reaction from the fans. People were shocked, confused, and heartbroken. The comment sections of the videos were flooded with questions. Why was she leaving? Where was she going? That's when it hit them. For the fans who had grown so used to seeing her smiling face on every new adventure, her departure felt like amateur tragedy for the show. This is where the rumor mill started spinning out of control. What was really going on behind the scenes? Some fans began to speculate that there must have been a falling out. Maybe there was bad blood between her and Matt, or with other members of the crew. It was the only thing that made sense to them. Why else would such a popular star leave such a successful show? The mystery of her sudden exit became a huge topic of discussion, and everyone had a theory. The truth nobody expected. After all the rumors and speculation from MORR fans, the real reason for Liz's departure from the popular off-road recovery channel was finally revealed. For months, viewers had crafted their own theories, many of them dark and full of conflict. And the truth nobody expected is that it wasn't a scandal at all. It wasn't about bad blood or a fight with the crew or any kind of backstage drama. It was about love and a brand new chapter in her life. This changes everything for those who had braced themselves for the worst, proving that sometimes a major change can be for a wonderfully happy reason. Turns out there's more to the story of Liz's life than just pulling vehicles out of the sand. What nobody talks about is the rich personal life she was building away from the cameras. In the year 2022, she had gotten married to a man named Clancy Ballard. The thing is, Clancy was also a passionate off-road enthusiast, and they shared a profound love for the great outdoors and for raising horses. For a while, Lizzy skillfully managed to balance her demanding work on the channel with her new married life. But then in 2023, she and Clancy hatched a new life-altering plan for their future together. You see, Clancy's family owned a sprawling farm in a picturesque part of the country called Kane County, Utah. We got a call for a Honda Tucson stuck in Babylon Mill Road and Matt is out off town. So, we got Eric driving the MORR. The couple made the monumental decision to move away from the high-octane world of the recovery business and embrace a quieter, more pastoral life on the ranch. What's really going on was a conscious choice to build a different kind of dream together, side by side. They wanted to be closer to nature and find a peaceful, wonderful environment to raise a family. It was a beautiful, heartwarming reason to leave, but it meant she could no longer be a part of the day-to-day operations of Matt's off-road recovery. Her priorities had shifted from winches and tow repesto pastures and family life. And just when you thought it couldn't get weirder, the way the crew handled her exit proved just how strong their bond really was. There was no resentment or bitterness. In fact, they honored her departure in the most supportive way imaginable. They threw a massive send-off party for her, celebrating her contributions and her new journey. And if that wasn't enough, they presented her with an incredible, almost unbelievable gift. They gave her a 2016 Ford F-150 EcoBoost truck, a vehicle she had once mentioned was her absolute dream car. This wasn't just a simple goodbye present. It was a practical and deeply heartfelt gift that would be incredibly useful for her new life on the farm. So, we're going to back this thing up to the trailer and push it off, and then we're done.